Every once in a while, a question pops up online that's just so simple but so brilliant, it makes you stop and think. Today, we're jumping into one of those gems. We're going to go on a little linguistic adventure to solve the mystery of two words, solar and soul. They sound like they should be related, but are they really?
And here it is, the question that kicked this whole thing off from a user over on Reddit. It came from thinking about our solar system with its one star and comparing it to a binary system with two. It's a fantastic observation. I mean, if soul means one and only, and our solar system has one sun, they have to be connected, right? It just seems so logical.
Well, this is what you'd call a classic case of etymological doppelgangers. So we're going to put on our detective hats and trace these two words back through time. Let's find out if they're long-lost relatives or just convincing imposters who happen to look alike. Okay, let's start our investigation with our first word, solar. We're going to follow the evidence and trace its family tree all the way back to its earliest known ancestor. Now, what's really amazing here is just how clear and direct this path is. Solar has a totally unbroken lineage. It starts way back with this ancient Proto-Indo-European root, solvel, which meant the sun. That became solus in Latin, which then gave us solaris, meaning of the sun, and from there, boom, it's a straight shot to our English word solar, an open and shut case for this word's identity. And this is just a brilliant illustration of the point. I mean, take the word solstice. It's the perfect piece of evidence. It's built from that exact same Latin root, sol, for sun, and sistere, which means to stand still. It literally describes the sun appearing to stop in the sky. So yeah, the evidence is pretty overwhelming. The root sol means sun. Okay, so we've got our first clue locked down. Solar is all about the sun. Now let's turn to our second word, soul. If these two are actually related, we should find a pretty similar path. But as you're about to see, this trail leads us somewhere completely different. And whoa, look at this. The journey of soul begins in a totally different place. Its ancient ancestor is the Proto-Indo-European root svo, which was actually a pronoun for oneself. This evolved into the Latin word se, also meaning oneself, which then gave us solus, meaning alone, only, or single. And from solus, we get the English word soul. So the key here is that this word's DNA has absolutely nothing to do with the sun. It's all about the self, about being alone. And we can prove it just by looking at other words in this family. Think of soliloquy. That's a speech where someone speaks alone. Or the word desolate, which means to be left completely alone. Both of these words, as you can see right here, come from that exact same Latin root, solus, which just hammers home that its core meaning is all about being single by oneself. So we've followed two totally different trails of evidence. We've traced both our suspects all the way back to their origins. I think it's time we bring the clues together and deliver the final verdict. And here it is, plain and simple, side by side. As you can see, solar comes from the Proto-Indo-European root sol, meaning the sun. Meanwhile, soul comes from a completely different root, svo, meaning oneself. So despite looking and sounding so similar, they are 100% unrelated. It's a pure linguistic coincidence. So, case closed. An excellent question answered. But just when you think you've got it all figured out, the English language just loves to throw a curveball. What if I told you there's a third suspect hiding in plain sight? Another word that sounds almost identical and kind of complicates our neat little story. Let's talk about the word solid. I mean, think about it. Solid sounds just like that Latin root sol. And consolidate means to bring things together into a single whole unit. That feels an awful lot like the meaning of soul, doesn't it? So which family does this word belong to? Well, let's go back to the historical record. The source of our word solid is found in late Latin with the solidus. This was actually the name of a Roman coin, the numis solidus, which literally meant a solid coin. It was valuable because it was made of solid metal, not plated or hollow. And if we trace that root back, we find a third, get this, a completely separate Proto-Indo-European root, sol. No W, no AWE. This one means whole or undivided. It's the reason solid means firm and whole, and consolidate means to make something whole. It has nothing to do with the sun, and it has nothing to do with being alone. So the mind-blowing thing is this. We don't just have two words that sound alike by coincidence. We have three. Three totally distinct ancient roots that over thousands and thousands of years all converged into pretty much the same sound in modern English. How incredible is that? This whole investigation is just a beautiful demonstration of why understanding the deep history of words, their roots, is so fascinating and honestly so important. Let's just quickly recap what we've learned. This summary table lays it all out perfectly. You've got the solwol root, giving us solar and solstice, all about the sun. You've got the swo root, giving us soul and soliloquy, all about being by oneself. And then you have the sol root, giving us solid and consolidate, all about being whole. Three separate families, one similar sound. Just amazing.
And that's really the big takeaway here. Learning about these ancient roots isn't just trivia. It's like getting a secret decoder ring for our language. All of a sudden, you start seeing the hidden connections and the secret histories behind the words you use every single day.
So, the next time you hear two words that sound like they ought to be related, well, maybe they are. Or maybe, just maybe, they're etymological doppelgangers with their own secret history. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other hidden stories are waiting to be discovered?